Hello. Welcome to today's Culminating Experience presentations. My name is Alexandra Zapata, the Program Assistant of the Berklee Global Jazz Institute. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge and thank some of the leaders that supported our student success throughout this academic year. Thank you to our deans from the Professional Performance Division, Dean Sean Skeet, Associate Dean Karen Bell. Thank you to our Dean from the Graduate Studies Division, Dean Sindhu Reveluri. We would also like to thank our directors from the Berklee Global Jazz Institute, founder and artistic director Danilo Perez, and managing director Marco Piñataro. Thank you to Associate Director Mary McClory, Department Coordinator of Academic Affairs Ruben McFarlane, and the Graduate Studies team for setting up this event. I'd like to begin with a biography of Gabriel Maia. Gabriel Maia is a guitarist, composer, and educator from Brazil. Gabriel completed his undergraduate studies at Berklee College of Music. As an artist, he combines Brazilian music, jazz, and blues in an innovative way. Gabriel has shared the stage with great artists such as Danilo Perez, Miguel Zenon, and Deborah Gergel. Gabriel's committee member is Brazilian percussionist professor from the New England Conservatory, Marcos Santos. His advisor is Professor Lihi Harubi. Please welcome to the stage, Gabriel Maia.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you for all the committee. Hello everyone. My name is Gabriel Maia, and this is my CE presentation, Musical Movements, Capoeira Through the Lens of Global Jazz. Being from Brazil, I had the privilege to grow up practicing capoeira. I was first introduced to capoeira when I was 6 years old, and I practice it till today, as you can see here in the video. There was a video of me playing it against a master called Mestre Charada back when I was in Brazil. Capoeira is an Afro-Brazilian art form that integrates fighting, dancing, playing percussion instruments, and singing. Capoeira taught me how to move, how to be present in the moment, how to acknowledge and respect the other, how to believe in my abilities in order to face fear, how to respect a tradition, among many other teachings. In other words, it was crucial for my constitution of being. Since 2014, it has been considered a patrimony of humanity by the UN as a result of a very active social fight for its importance. Capoeira was originated in the late 1500s, and it was considered illegal until 1934. Capoeira was born as a way for the enslaved black people in Brazil to fight against the oppression of the big landowners and to organize rebellions. By mixing fighting, dancing, playing, and singing, its martial art nature was disguised from the oppressors. There have been many historical reports of capoeira being a key element in rebellions and revolts throughout Brazilian history. It's important to state, however, that it's not only a disguised fight. It is a fight just as much as it is a dance. It is a celebratory practice that promotes the encounter of the members of the community. Until today, these movements, they carry a lot of history and a lot of memories. Because of the cultural importance of capoeira as part of a larger cultural fight, I decided to bring focus and pay homage to its movements in order to bring awareness to their relevance, which is an inseparable part of the history of where I come from. This is my way of shedding light to this very rich tradition that I had the honor to get to know very closely and very intimately, and it was so important to me on a personal level. In order to navigate these artistic endeavors, I set to bring to practice the lessons I acquired in my global jazz studies. I wrote 4 compositions that seek to explore musically the depth of these movements of this art form. The first composition is called Shapes, or Formas in Portuguese. To understand this composition, it's crucial to understand that there are 2 types of capoeira, capoeira de Angola and capoeira regional. This composition is about Capoeira de Angola, which is the most ancient one and has had Mestre Pastinha as one of its most important masters. Capoeira de Angola's movements are slower, and at first sight they seem to be less dangerous. However, at a closer look, there are a lot of nuances and tricks that make it actually very dangerous. For this composition, I filmed myself performing some movements, and then I traced the trajectory of my foot with a pen to create shapes, just like in the example. Yes. So I placed these shapes in the music staff so that the lines would represent musical shapes, and I arranged them in an order of kicks and defenses that would be coherent in an actual capoeira game. I orchestrated them for two instruments, guitar and bandolim. Also, I composed a bass line that is inspired by the toque de Angola of the berimbau, which is the most important instrument in capoeira. And this is the toque de Angola. Here is a video of me performing with the band this tune in the studio. You're gonna also see some footage of my master, Alexandre Brazão, playing capoeira. This is shapes. Thank you. The second composition I wrote is called Ginga. This composition is inspired by the Ginga, and Ginga is the main movement of capoeira. All movements start from the Ginga and come back into the Ginga. The Ginga is a crucial part of capoeira, and it is the synthesis of the dual nature of capoeira being both a dance and a fight. It is a gracious dance movement, and at the same time, it is a way of making the attacks less predictable, since the body is always in movement. This composition is related to the second type of capoeira, capoeira regional, which is the one that I spent the most time practicing. It is a faster, bigger, and wider style of capoeira that was created in the 20th century by Mestre Bimba, who was also one of the first capoeira players to teach and systematize capoeira and bring it to a new level of visibility. For this composition, I wrote a motive that represents the ginga, which is this motive you guys can see. All the other motives in the song develop to, at one moment, arrive to this initial motive, just like all capoeira movements arrive in the ginga. For the bass, I also wrote some counterpoint lines utilizing tetrachords in the B sections, which created beautiful intervals. You guys can hear ginga. The next composition I wrote is called Bico de Papagaio, which in Portuguese translates to the tip of the parakeet. This song is about the oral tradition in capoeira. For this song, I focused on the sound of words. Let me explain a little better. Starting with the groove, I was taught when I was young the capoeira groove by learning 3 words, café com pão. And they taught me how to play the atabaque with these words. And they would say, café com pão, café com pão, café com pão. For this song, I created a groove that still maintains the integrity of these words, but now it's in 7. So, pão, café com pão, café com pão, café com pão. Moreover, the drum set does a complementary groove that is inspired in the name of the movement Bico de Papagaio, which also gives the name of the tune. Bico de Papagaio, Bico de Papagaio, Bico de Papagaio, Bico de Papagaio, which is also in 7. The motives in the song are inspired by another movement, Folha Seca, as you guys can see here. Folha seca, folha seca. The bass line is written using the A major tetrachord, following what Professor Danilo Paris taught us about having two tonalities coexisting at the same time. While the bass line is in A major, the motive Folha Seca is in C major. This represents this dual nature of capoeira, being both a dance and a fight. Here's a video of us performing this tune in the studio with some footage again of my master, Alexandre Brazão. os bicos de papagaio. Thank you. The last song I wrote is called Por Tris, which means just by a little bit or almost. This song is about the practice of capoeira, being created to fight against the oppressors and not the members of the community. Most of capoeira players won't hit their opponents in a game. Since it's a practice, the aim is to almost hit and to train the accuracy of the movements by almost hitting. This song is about the almost being the actual target. I chose the note C from capoeira, and in my melody writing, I imply the note C. However, this note is never played, giving the idea of the almost being the actual target. As you can see here, the chromatic approaches to C and C sharp and B are always repeated, and it lands the last motive in C sharp. Also, the groove is inspired by the atabaque from capoeira, and the bass line is inspired by the berimbau. This is Por Tris. This is my CE project, Musical Movements, and I would love to continue working with it in the future. But I would love to end this by thanking and acknowledging all the band, my panelist Marcos Santos, who also helped me, Danilo Perez, Marco Pinataro, Lee Haruvi, and everybody that was part of this project. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Beautiful presentation, Gabriel. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Ali.
I would like to give the word to our first panelist, committee member Marcos Santos.
Thank you. Gabriel, that was fantastic. But before starting even talking about your work, I'd like to personally say thank you for not only inviting me to be here, but also Capoeira is from my hometown. And I remember when I was 11, 12 years old, I was out in the streets with my mom, and then a group of, an spontaneous Capoeira circle happened in the street of Salvador. And I remember my mom saying, I hope she doesn't speak English, so you'll be okay. But I remember my mom saying, let's go away from here because trouble is about to start. And that was back in the 90s, and the conception that folks kind of have to this day is that this Afro-Brazilian music is something not, to use a euphemism, not cool. So projects like yours bring an attention to the beauty of an Afro heritage that is within our culture, and we are grateful as it shaped our home country. So thank you for bringing jazz and the awareness of this beautiful Afro-Brazilian art of Capoeira. So I appreciate you choosing this topic.
Well, thank you, Marcos.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And now to get to the project itself, I kept writing here, like you're super creative. You definitely put a lot of thought into it, especially with every song you investigated something and you selected a point of Capoeira and you took as an angle using the prompts that you had to use for this final presentation. So in the first song, I wrote it here. I thought it was beautiful. Like you chose a move of Capoeira, and by the way, the fact that you practice Capoeira for so long also gives even more validation in which like you are an expert of the style, and you used that expertise into your other expertise of guitar playing and jazz. So I thought that was also a great combination that give even more legitimacy to what you are doing. I thought it was great also that you said that Capoeira helped you shape your personality as a person. So it goes beyond music, as you can apply into the philosophy of Capoeira in your own life. Also, thank you for having that sensitivity and sharing with us. And I don't know if you're involved with the video too, but I love the artistry of having your master and paying tribute to your master, which is super also part of the Capoeira tradition, respecting the previous generation and the ones that are sharing this knowledge. I thought that was great. And again, the use of the shapes of movements of Capoeira to build your melody and the story of the first song. For the second song, actually I'll leave that for last. Bico de Papagaio, the number 3. I love you mentioned oral tradition as it's so deep and part of the way that the African heritage was passed by from generation to generation, and you are using the onomatopoeia and bringing back the way that this oral knowledge was passed on. There was very creative thinking, showing that you put a lot of thought and energy and heart into this. I commend you for that. In this song too, we had this conversation because I always thought that when we try to adapt Brazilian rhythm to 7, I always felt like the organization of the rhythms are more towards that song of Ayrton Moreira. I think it's called Tombo in 7, and then when you manipulate it, I was practicing before the recording. I was feeling more in an intention of a Middle Eastern approach, and until later, it's like I recorded myself and I listened to it, and it was grooving, and it was still having the intention of capoeira. So I actually learned from this project. So thank you for that. In fact, I'm actually hoping to write one song myself because of what you taught me. So thank you. And song 4, beautiful use of the name, Por Tris. But again, super creative. And lastly, let's go to song 2, which is so then I would like to ask you. You called it this. We called the song Ginga.
Yeah.
And but it was a samba rhythm. So would you be able to maybe explain a little why you chose? We've been talking about capoeira, and yet you used a samba rhythm for a song entitled Ginga.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you so much for all the comments, and thank you for being part of this project, and thank you for the question. So the second song, Ginga, I think there are 2 reasons why I chose to do it in a samba groove. The first one is that samba is also part of capoeira tradition. We will find samba de roda, and capoeira will be danced and fought to the sound of samba many times. But the second reason is, just like capoeira, Ginga is the main movement of capoeira, the most famous movement of capoeira that represents this art form. I feel that samba is also the music style from Brazil that is the most well known. And I wanted to make that analogy, that connection of like being the main element that people know and that people can relate to, and that is important to the identity of Brazil.
Thank you. Brilliant. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Gabriel, and thank you very much, Marcos.
Thank you so much, Marcos.
Up next, I would like to give the word to Gabriel's advisor, Lihi Harubi.
Congratulations, Gabriel. It's so great to be here and see this. And I want to thank Marcos to say what you said, because there was so much thought, for the framing, and you said sensitivity. I think one meeting, we spent the whole meeting just talking about, how to approach this project, and not even a single note that day. So it's really great, Gabriel, that we are in this moment. Of course, I want to congratulate you for the result, but we always talk about the process, and to me, that's the thing that I'm really most proud of with you. It's a big undertaking, right? Like, how am I going to create, like, from the movements, and just piece by piece, with a lot of consistency and a lot of commitment, you've gone through this journey. And this is the thing that I'm really most proud, and I hope this is kind of the lesson that you take from this presentation, of how your commitment and your consistency is the thing that really brings you forward. And it's, again, such a beautiful moment to be here and to see this come together. So I think I'm going to keep it short right now, and let our other esteemed faculty to speak.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lee.
Thank you, Lihi. I would also like to give the word to our professor, Patricia Zarate.
Gabriel, congratulations. I want to keep it short too, because I've told you, I think many times, that you have a special talent for composing, for playing, for music in general. And I want to encourage you to continue to study for the rest of your life, and to continue to develop that compositional talent, that musical talent that you have. Never stop, because you have this, this is something that you could do for the rest of your life, and it comes out very beautifully. It's been a pleasure to have you in my class and at the Global in general, but also seeing you grow. See, you have grown a lot in the past years. So I'm just very happy to have witnessed that growth too. So congratulations for everything.
Thank you so much, Patricia. It's been my pleasure too.
Thank you, Patricia. And I would like to give the word to our artistic director, Danilo Perez.
Gabriel, good morning, Gabriel.
Good morning.
Thank you for waking us up. This is fantastic. First of all, I want to go back a little bit away from the project to get to the project and tell you how proud I am of this. I have watched you grow from the undergraduate all the way to the graduate. And I'm very proud of that process that you went through. Many times I have this image of you that the class is over and you're standing with your guitar sort of like with the question mark. So Danilo, so what is next? What's happening? Like what? But everybody's going and you are standing up with your guitar. And I'm like, Gabriel, I'll see you later, you know. But I can tell that you are there like I want more, I'm trying to answer all these questions I have. You had zillions of questions. And first of all, I want to encourage you to keep asking those questions, first of all, because look at how those many questions has gotten you here. This is a chapter in your life. What made me really proud is to see the progress on when you came and you had an idea of what jazz was. And to me, I think one of the things is like, I think I mentioned that to you in a class. I said, Gabriel, when you're going to stop being a tourist in this music? Go deep into, this is part of your tradition, Brazil. And then the next time I met you, say, I was thinking about that comment, and it makes a lot of sense to me. Then the next time we met, you told me, I was saying about something about social activism, and I told you what I said to Wayne, and Wayne said, play that. And you say, Danilo, I love capoeira, and I'm a true believer of capoeira, and I practice capoeira. And I said to you, well, Gabriel, play capoeira. And I want to thank you because that little comment there, I think it resonated very deeply for you. And today you show us how you play capoeira. Yes, the gesturing, I hear that in your playing now. It's not all this eighth note running in the guitar. It's like this motion and this. I actually would have loved to hear more guitar. That's the one thing I say. The music is fantastic. The playing has grown tremendously. I feel very proud of your accomplishment, and I feel very proud that you are living with a master, actually not a master program, a monster program. And I feel that you are ready to embrace the challenges that are coming at you. Do not ever forget this experience and how you came through it. I'm very proud of what you have done, Gabriel.
Thank you so much.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danilo. Gabriel, congratulations once again. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And another round of applause for Gabriel.
Thank you.